So as of this past Saturday, I've officially been doing these reviews on YouTube for 1 year now. I never expected me to be doing these videos as long as I have. Um, I've been doing these videos longer than 1 year. I've actually been doing them almost 2 years. I started out doing these videos on Facebook, uh, only on my Facebook, and for my friends to watch. And once Facebook decided to not let me post any more of these videos, I decided to um, start posting them on YouTube, and the rest is history. I can't believe the fact that I have 7 subscribers. I know that's not a big deal for most people. I know people that get a million subscribers, and I only got 7. I'm not one of those people that really give a shit. I get advertisements, I get emails all the time for to buy subscribers, which is so stupid. Why would you buy subscribers? It's fucking idiotic. And I think that's what half the people do. There's no way. I've seen some people that get a million subscribers, and I'm like, there's no fucking way that they would be able to get that many. If I'm not getting that many, there's no way anybody else could. Because I produce. I mean, I'm not saying my videos are great, but I'm just saying I'm pretty confident a lot of them fucking do that. But I thank anybody who's subscribed to me, anybody who's watched my videos. I've had people from the United Kingdom and other countries watching my videos, which is awesome. I appreciate that. I'm gonna continue doing these reviews till I decide I'm not going to do them anymore, basically. In which I will try to do these reviews as long as I can, honestly. But yeah, I was originally, for my 1 year anniversary, I was going to do a viewer's choice kind of movie review, and the fact that I would give like a list of movies for people to pick from, and I would review whatever movie that they picked. It didn't matter what movie it was, like if it was Endless Love or Need for Speed or something like that, something that I didn't want to see, I would go see it if I got a bunch of requests for it. But it wasn't until the last week that I realized that I still haven't seen Lone Survivor, so I figured, what the fuck, I'm gonna go see it now. For my 1 year anniversary. I've been getting a lot of requests for this movie, a review for this movie, and I've also been asked a lot about my opinion on it, and I've also heard really good things about it for the past month, to the point that I was kind of worried going into this movie that this movie wouldn't live up to expectations, because when you get a movie like that, it gets a lot of hype from a lot of people you know. It usually never lives up to that kind of hype. So I mean, going in, I was hoping it was going to be good, but I was still kind of worried. And you know what? This movie's great. This movie's fucking great. I'm kind of still kicking myself that it took me this long to finally see this movie, because this movie could have easily, because this movie did come out last year technically. And I hate the fact that I had to wait until this year to see it, because this would have easily been on my top 10 list, easily. Because this movie is fucking phenomenal. This is one of the most intense, hard to sit through movies I've seen since probably like Gravity, which this movie's more hard to sit through, because honestly, this movie is more, this movie's based off a real story. This really happened, and to know the fact that this shit that went down is just, it's kind of depressing. But this movie, I could see why some people would not like this movie. I will say that, because this movie is not exactly a character-driven movie. It's more a war movie, and that's about it. This movie isn't very short, or not very good on character development, because honestly, other than the facts that you get, the only facts you really get about these characters are that, one, they're Navy SEALs, and two, that they're married. That's basically it. you really don't get much character development from any of these characters, but usually get that kind of thing when you get more movies like this. And the thing that carried this movie, though, was the fact that these all are really good, competent actors that really pull these roles off very well, even if they're not given great character development. Um, Everyone in this movie is, really, really, really good. There was not one bad performance. You got four lead actors that are some of my favorite actors. You got Mark Wahlberg, Taylor Kitsch, Emile Hirsch, and Ben Foster. Four guys I usually enjoy in almost any movie I see them in, and movie's no different. Mark Wahlberg is a guy that in my opinion, is a really underrated actor and doesn't get enough recognition that he deserves, and he's definitely gets some moments to shine in this movie, especially at the end. And he's really good in this movie, especially like I said, especially at the end. He definitely shows some great emotional depth in this movie. It has some really good acting moments in it. So does like Ben Foster, who's really I always enjoyed Ben Foster. I don't know why he hasn't been nominated for an Oscar yet, because he is a really good actor. I've seen him in a lot of good movies, and he always impresses me every time I see him, and he's really good in this too. And everybody else is really good. Like I said, going in, I would tell people don't expect a character-driven movie. Expect great acting, but don't expect like great characters or like memorable characters. This is not what this movie is about. The thing that really makes this movie great, though, is the action sequences in this movie. My God, they are some of the most intense I've ever seen. Some of the most intense war scenes I've seen put on film. This is not the best war movie I've ever seen, but by God, this is going to be on my... If I ever make a top 10, this will probably easily be on that top 10 list. This movie is intense. There are some really great, intense scenes in this movie, particularly the one scene, building up, because if you don't know the story, is that there are a bunch of Marines, or Navy SEALs, take that back, Navy SEALs that go to Afghanistan, or on this mission in Afghanistan to capture and kill, possibly, this leader of the Taliban that's been killing Marines. And they have intel of where he's at. And so they go to scout the area and to make sure he's there. And once they figure out that he's there, they wait for backup, obviously, because there's like 1 million soldiers like down there. And while they're waiting, unfortunately, the two kids and a older man with goats, or basically goat herders, come across them, and they end up letting those people go after some deliberation, and because of that, ends up causing all of the Taliban in that area to come after them. And the scenes leading up to when the one boy goes and tells the Taliban, to the scenes building up to that, like the moment when they're realizing that they're being surrounded by the Taliban, it's fucking phenomenal. That scene is great. Like from that moment to when they start their firefight, it's like intense as shit. And the best thing about it is, before there's a firefight, there's really no music. There's just sound, and that's it. There's a lot of quietness, and it's just really intense, and it's really well directed, and it's a great scene. I recommend it. Seeing that scene, that's one of those scenes that I if you're a film buff, you should see it. It's really cool, and it's really well done. Like the use of no soundtrack in that scene, and just ambient sound, is really awesome, and it makes it really good. it is really intense. There's some really intense moments in this fucking movie. And the brutality in this movie is pretty goddamn realistic and hard to watch. Particularly the scenes where the guys, oh, the worst parts for me were when the guys had to fall back and they would have to roll down a hill, and the sounds that their bodies are making when they're hitting the ground and everything else is just so fucking hard to hit and listen to. Like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, it's like they're bouncing off rocks, and I'm like, how the fuck are these guys not paralyzed? That was my question. I was like, how the fuck did they not end up paralyzed or broken necks or something like that? I have a hard time believing that, but this is based off true facts, but it's really hard to believe that almost they didn't fucking, because they do it twice at one point. And it's one of those movies, I know I definitely get crap for comparing this to this movie, but I kind of felt like with this movie that I did with Gravity, and the fact that you really want to see these guys succeed even though you know what happens, because it's no secret that, just look at the fucking title, there's only one person that lives. It's called fucking Lone Survivor. If you didn't catch that, you're an idiot. And they basically tell you at the end who survives. Mark Wahlberg. They show Mark Wahlberg being carried onto a helicopter, for fuck's sake. So that basically tells you who survives. I mean, I knew that going in anyways, because I saw there's been a million things about the real guy that Mark Wahlberg plays, and him telling his story, and he worked on this film too. But even despite that fact, you still want to see these guys succeed and live, even though they're not. And when it feels like the movie Gravity, and the fact that there's a point where you're like, oh yay, maybe they'll survive, and then just they throw more shit at them, and you're like, oh my fucking god. It's like fucking with Sandra Bullock in Gravity. You think she's gonna succeed, fucking something else happens. And this is what this movie felt like. It's just like, you thought they were gonna succeed, and bam, something else happens. It's like, god damn it. And then, I felt bad as, I kind of, there was parts of this movie, they kept getting fucking shot. I'm like, quit getting fucking shot already. I'm like, even if they were to survive this, they would probably die of blood loss, because they get shot a million fucking times. I'm like, Jesus Christ. The Taliban are, relentless. Fuck. Oh my god, this movie this movie is intense. It's really good, though. I've seen people bitch about, I guess there's some bitching about patriotism, too much heavy-handed patriotism in this movie. There's scenes where I don't think it's that prevalent in this movie. I didn't have no problem with that. Really, I wouldn't have too much of a problem with that anyways if it was in there, because I like this movie. And plus, I'm fucking American, so of course I have no problem with patriotism in a movie about American soldiers. But yeah, I mean, I could see maybe, because I looked up after I saw this movie, because of course this is a Hollywood movie, and with Hollywood movies based on true stories, there's always some forms of some factual errors that you'll find out throughout the film or whatever. And this movie does. I looked it up and see what historical inaccuracies were in this movie, and mostly this movie has just really minor ones. There's been debating about how much of the Taliban army they were actually facing, how big of an army they were facing, and I could see them basically. I could see them making it a bigger number for patriotic purposes, maybe. I don't know. But other than that, I don't see that them being too heavy-handed about patriotism in this movie. Although if I were to complain about one thing, I will say that one patriotic thing, or like a little too heavy-handed on the patriotism, was the opening credits was a little much. I swear the opening credits was just basically a advertisement for people to join the Navy SEALs, because literally it's real life footage of like the Navy SEALs and their training. And although they do show the harsh trainings that they go through, and honestly, if I were to watch that and see that in an advertisement, I'd be like, "Fuck that! We're not gonna go join that." I mean, they fucking tie ropes down their ankles and hold them underwater, which is fucked up. But I mean, you gotta train them for stuff like that, I guess. But yeah, this movie, or yeah, it shows basically. It feels like I swear at the opening credits, I felt like at the end of the opening credits there would just be a thing that says, "This is join the Navy SEALs now." Like I swear that's what, or be all you can be, or something like that. I swear I almost half expected it to say something like that at the end of the opening credits, because of how heavy handed. And yeah, um, it does show at the end like all the pictures of like the last, before the credits even roll, they show all the pictures of the guys who died, and play the song, a remake of that song "Heroes," which was from the '90s. And I mean, that's fine. You gotta show stuff like that. You know, the real people. That's fine. I have no problem with any of that shit. Again, I can understand the criticisms of the characterizations more than I can understand the the complaint about the heavy-handed patriotism. But whatever. Like I said, and this movie was directed by Peter Berg, a guy who's made some good movies here and there. I mean, Friday Night Lights he's made, and he also has unfortunately made movies like Battleship. But and I never watched Battleship. But I hear how bad that was, and I avoided that movie like at all costs because that looks stupid. I mean, it's fucking based off a board game, for God's sake. What the hell else did you expect? But this movie, it's like, I think his first war movie, and he did a really fucking good job. Like I said, he definitely knows how to film a really good battle scene. The battle scenes in this movie are fucking awesome. That's one thing I can come away with praising more, is the battle scenes. And the use of, like I said, no soundtrack in some scenes, and just letting ambient sound be the noise that's heard, and that was great. Again, this movie is really good. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it already, I don't think I have anything else to talk about. But I guess that's about it. But anyways, thank you for anybody who's been watching my videos for a year now. I'm gonna continue hopefully doing them for another year, and I'll try to do another anniversary 2-year anniversary video maybe next year at this time. Originally I was gonna do a video this past Saturday when my 1-year anniversary actually popped up, but unfortunately I was really tired, really tired, and because I'd been working 8 days straight. This is today and tomorrow are my only days off for the next few days. So I figured I'd wait until then. I was too tired to go see the movie on Saturday. I actually tried to go see it Friday, but the screen broke apparently when I went to try to go see it. And that was the late screening of like a 9:40, and so there was no more screenings after that. So I couldn't go see it anytime later. But anyways, thank you again. I appreciate for anybody who's been watching my videos. I'm going to continue doing them. Next week, I'll be back with Muppets Most Wanted, a movie that I'm not looking forward to it as much as the first Muppets remake, or the recent Muppets movie. But I'm still looking forward to it because it is the fucking Muppets. I love the Muppets. I'm pretty biased when it comes to the fucking Muppets, and I have a feeling I'm gonna like that one way or another. It's not getting as well received as the other one did, but it's still getting pretty good reviews. So I'll be back next week with that. I don't know when it'll be. Like I said, I got a new job, so it might be on a Friday, it might be on a Saturday, I don't know when the hell it'll be, but it'll be coming soon. So that'll be my next video, and I'll talk to you guys later.